Hey folks, Harley Day Rider here, back at you once again. Your good old friend HDR. Here once again on the lovely 2018 Road Glide Ultra. A little bit of dirt, a little bit of muck on the handlebars. So if you can see this restaurant right here, it says Garfield's Restaurant and Pub. And we're at a place called the Franklin Mall, or some people call it the Crown Royal Mall, in Washington, Pennsylvania. And this is a chain restaurant, Garfield's, right? I think it is. Garfield's Restaurant and Pub. Now, let's be on the first side here, on the honest side. We're going to give everybody this straight up. We've eaten there before over the years. Not a lot, I guess, but a few times here and there. For whatever reason, we're at the mall. It's like, you want to get something to eat? Yeah. Let's go down to Garfield's. Yeah, it's traditionally been pretty good food. So, now here's the downside today. So tonight, I've been out today with riding around on the bike, you know, putting some miles on her. And I knew Mrs. HDR was coming to the mall. She was going to be looking for some shoes. I called her up. I said, hey, I'm in town. I'm in Washington. Do you want me to meet you so we can get something for dinner? Oh, she said, well, that would be really nice. Yeah, that would be great. She said, why don't you just come out to the mall? We'll go to Garfield's. And I said, Garfield's is fine with me. I mean, so I walked around there for a while and we did some shoe shopping. And I did the nice husband thing where, you know, she puts shoes on and shows me and says, do you like this pair? Do you like that pair? And sure. I mean, yeah, that pair is nice. That pair is beautiful. And I don't know a darn thing about shoes, folks. Absolutely nothing. But, you know, your wife wants your opinion, you give her an opinion. It's not going to be the right one. Anyway, so she finds a pair of shoes. So we go to Garfield's. Let's move ahead. Fast forward. So we go to Garfield's, we order our food. We get a couple drinks, which we normally do at dinner. And, we order our meals. I ordered these chicken strips, and she ordered like a chicken breast. It's a chicken breast with some kind of cheese on it. Seemed like a pretty normal, easy dish to make. So here's the question of, you know, this is one of those, and we've played this game before. You know, what would you do? We've talked about this game in the past. And here's the game. So, the salads came out. I mean, you can't mess the salad up. Pretty much, right? Salad's good. We ate the salads. Here comes the main course. You know, my chicken strips are fried. That's pretty simplistic, right? You can't mess up a fried piece of chicken. Mrs. HDR cuts into her chicken. And she scoops a bite into her mouth. And she's and she just spits it out. And her face just turned like, almost like a puke green. I mean, I've never seen my wife's face turn this color of like, it was, I said, what's wrong? Was it gristle? You know, was there a piece of fat in that chicken? That looks nice. She goes, no, look at this. She rolled the chicken breast over and it was raw. It was not cooked. My wife, Mrs. HDR, could have got salmonella poisoning and she can be dead in a couple days. Because they're feeding raw, uncooked chicken. I was like, what the heck? So, you know, and it's not the waitress's fault. It's you know, the bozo cooking in the back. Obviously, he doesn't know, you know, basically his butthole from a hole in the ground. You know, and he don't know crap. Mrs. HDR was like, did they ever hear of a meat thermometer? I mean, come on, really? So, the girl comes over, and it's not the girl's fault. The waitress was very kind, very nice girl. And it wasn't her fault, not at all. So, she walks over and she goes, she took one look at that chicken and goes, oh my God, they didn't cook it again. It's like, excuse me? Oh, no, let me get you something different. Well, So Mrs. HDR said, well, I'll take some of those fried chicken fingers, chicken strips that, Mr. HDR has here. And she's like, okay, no problem. Well, here she's sitting and she's watching the cook in the back, and he's using his bare hands to pick out food and put it on the plate food with his bare hands. Folks, this is Garfield's. This is not like this is not a one-star restaurant by any means. But when you have doofus heads working there, that again don't know their butthole from a hole in the ground, that should not be working in the kitchen. So anyway, she said, you know what, Mr. HDR, she said, just go up here and tell that nice girl, tell her I don't want anything, I lost my appetite. Tell her I'm not buying any food here. This is just totally disgusting and disgraceful. And by that time I was like, I don't really want to eat now either. So anyway, the girl came over, and I walked over to her and said, don't even make her anything else. She lost her appetite, she's done. And the young girl's like, oh, okay, don't worry. I'll take her dinner off. Well, what they should have did was called the manager immediately. They should have comped the whole entire dinner. The only thing that I would have been willing actually to pay for was the alcohol. Because we did drink it, and it's really hard to screw up a beer. It's something that's hard to screw up. But absolutely most horrific experience we ever had at Garfield's in Washington, Pennsylvania, at the Royal Crown Center or Franklin Mall, whichever way you want to say it. So do not go there, avoid it, stay away. Even the table next to us, and Mrs. HDR said this used to be it's not a high up class restaurant by any means. I mean, when you're talking a 2 for $20 meal, so it's not like a high end thing, like 3 stars maybe, like average kind of restaurant. But what would you do? How would you have handled that situation? Would you have demanded not to pay for anything? Just be like, look, just comp the whole entire thing. I'll go to TGI Fridays and get a real meal. Hell, I'll go to McDonald's and get a full meal deal. I don't know. I mean, what's your take on that? And what do you think that we should have did in that situation? Just kind of curious there of how you would have handled that. But I mean, they did take off her meal. We figured up the salads we ate and the $10 you figure for my meal and the 2 drinks. We paid like $16. So again, we paid, and I don't mind paying for what I'm going to eat, what I have. I'm not trying to get out of anything, but I mean, they really just ruined her entire... I mean, I thought my poor wife was going to throw up right on the table, which I might have. Put a piece of raw chicken in your mouth and see how long that's going to last. So, alright, so yeah, let me get those comments rolling there. Help me out. Let me know, what would you do in that situation? Especially would you say anything too if you seen a cook in the kitchen using their bare hands and just moving food around, and I'm not talking doing the dishes. I'm talking they're plating your food up. They're picking your steak up with their bare hands, slapping it on the plate. Would you want that? Thanks everybody. I don't use my channel to complain, gripe, moan, groan, or whatever, but from one motorcycle rider to all of you motorcycle riders out there, what would you do in that situation? Hey, thanks so much for watching these videos. I appreciate it. I hope you do like the comments up and let me know if that's ever happened to you before too. I mean, by all means. And I'm sure I will put the experience online. I usually do give a write-up or review when I get, when we have a crappy type of a service. So, alright, take care everybody. Remember, ride your own ride. Be safe out there. And we will talk to you next time. Harley Dayrah's going to be down and out once again in the lovely evening, 64 degrees here in southwestern Pennsylvania. Bye-bye for now.